let's talk a little bit, if we can, about health. You know, the Senate Democrats are working on reintroducing the public option. Senator Merkley has been a big part of that. Progressive Change Campaign Committee has been pushing it, and of course, co-sponsoring that with Jeff Merkley are Senator Bernie Sanders, first and foremost, and also the Senate Democratic leadership is pushing a return to the public option, and that means Dick Durbin, Chuck Schumer, and Patty Murray. Now, for those of you who don't remember, the public option was originally part of the Affordable Care Act proposal. It said that Americans should be able to buy publicly funded insurance on the healthcare exchanges, along with the private insurance options that wound up being offered. Now, the public option, a lot of people feel, myself included, was traded away by President Obama as part of the heavy negotiations leading up to the Affordable Care Act. Specifically, there were reports that it was traded away to the for-profit hospital industry out of concerns on the part of the hospital industry that such a powerful entity could negotiate their prices down. Now, there are a million permutations and wrinkles to something like the public option, and I don't want to get into that here, except to say that public option is a good idea, especially if it is administered out of Medicare, using the Medicare infrastructure and its staff and so on, because it's already in place. It's national. It has negotiating power of some kind. It has its own fee schedule. It has the computers and all those things. So I would argue that a public option run out of Medicare would be a step in the right direction. But that said, and I do support this effort, no question about it, and personally, I think you should too. But we also need to recognize that we have a fundamentally broken healthcare system at all levels, including the providers, the for-profit providers, first and foremost big pharma, but also the for-profit hospitals, the for-profit X-ray and other diagnostic chains, pharmacies and so on, and physician practice management groups. We've got a for-profit system, and that needs to be reined in. And to me, you know, I used to say during the Affordable Care Act debates that I liked the idea of Medicare for all or single payer, but it was not politically feasible. After all the horse trading that went on with the Affordable Care Act and all the ways it was watered down, I'm now convinced that single payer is the only thing that is politically feasible. And by that, I mean it's the only clear-cut solution that can't be diced and sliced and watered down until we reach the point where healthcare remains affordable and is dominated by the private sector. Now, naturally, the private sector is fighting back against the public option. But remember, our healthcare prices, and I'm going to be talking about this more in the episodes to come, our healthcare prices are still way out of control. We still have the costliest healthcare in the world. It still covers the fewest people, even when people, quote unquote, have health insurance. It doesn't necessarily mean that they won't go bankrupt. It doesn't necessarily mean that they can afford to get the health care they need. So we have a fundamentally and deeply broken system. The solution to that is Medicare for all. I am Richard RJ Eskow, and I guess I will close by also adding that when the health insurance company tells you, as they did, quote, we need proven solutions that will make healthcare more affordable for everyone, my answer to that is let's do what those countries with affordable healthcare have done and make it single payer.